Provocation at the border, top envoy summoned and tensions escalating. I know it sounds like India and China from 2020, but it's actually India and Bangladesh. The trouble began early on Sunday. Dhaka's interim home minister accused India of provocations. He said India was building fences at the border at around 5 different places. He also said that Bangladeshi forces intervened, that they stopped the Indian construction. Hours later, Dhaka summoned India's top diplomat in Bangladesh, High Commissioner Pranay Verma. He met the interim foreign minister in Dhaka. He reaffirmed India's commitment to a crime-free border. It tells you what India's focus is: to secure and sanitize the long border. But Bangladesh, they're more focused on politicizing it. Dhaka expressed deep concern over events at the border. They also asked India to stop the fencing work. Then today, New Delhi retaliated. They summoned Dhaka's Deputy High Commissioner in India. He was basically told 3 things. 1, that India's fencing observes all protocols. 2, that India is committed to a crime-free border. And 3, that India expects all previous understandings to be implemented. They're talking about agreements signed with Sheikh Hasina. Now, if you put all of this together, one thing is quite clear: tensions are rising to a dangerous point. So tonight, let's take a closer look at this border. What is the situation there? And what is the politics around it? The India-Bangladesh border is among the longest in the world. It is around 4,100 kilometers long. It is also very porous. India has long complained of illegal migration and smuggling, hence the bid to fence it up. Around 3,200 kilometers have already been fenced, but the rest remains vulnerable. On India's side, the border is managed by the BSF, the Border Security Force, BSF. On the Bangladeshi side, it is managed by the BGB, the Border Guard Bangladesh. There are 4 border treaties between Delhi and Dhaka. One of them has banned construction in the no man's land. Think of this as a buffer zone. It extends 137 meters on either side of the border. Some of the fences were inside that no man's land. So India had sought permission for the construction. Sheikh Hasina was Prime Minister back then, and her government okayed it. Basically, Bangladesh allowed India to erect those fences. But now there is a new regime in Dhaka, one that wants to undo everything that Sheikh Hasina did, hence the opposition to India's fence. But frankly, they're playing a dangerous game, because it's not just security personnel. People living near the border are also getting involved. Bangladeshi villagers are confronting India's BSF. They are disrupting the fencing work. And what is Dhaka doing? Praising them. Their home minister is thanking these villagers for taking on the BSF, the Indian forces. In response, Indian locals have also started amassing. Take a look at this video. It shows men with sticks and knives at the border. Needless to say, this is dangerous, but it also raises questions. Doesn't Dhaka trust its own border force? If it does, why outsource security to random villagers? And why walk back on commitments? Yes, Sheikh Hasina has been ousted, but that does not nullify agreements made by her as Prime Minister. The thing is, Dhaka is spoiling for conflict. Their border guards report to the interim home minister. His name is Jahangir Alam Chaudhry. He actually headed the border force from 2001 to 2006, and he picked many fights with India. He once accused India of harboring anti-Bangladesh terrorists. He also blamed New Delhi for a grenade attack in 2005. So frankly, this flare-up is not surprising. It's probably what he was picked for. But the Home Minister should get his priorities right, maybe focus more on internal matters. For example, the attacks on minorities in Bangladesh. Bangladesh police have prepared a report on those attacks. They have recorded around 1,400 incidents. They also say that 98% of these were political. Only 1.6% were communal. Dhaka is trying to say that Hindus were not targeted for their religion, they were targeted for supporting Sheikh Hasina. Just one question though, how did they find this out? Did they read the minds of the attackers or did they hypnotize them to reveal their true motives? This report is a laughable cover-up. It justifies violent attacks on Bangladesh's minorities. It passes off religious violence as political vendetta. It also shows Dhaka's reluctance to admit facts. Instead, they're busy poking India at the border. There is little hope from the interim regime, but Indian and Bangladeshi border forces do meet regularly to sort out differences. Let's hope that their professionalism upholds peace.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.